This is a Looney Tunes Pinball Machine, which you can see astride a Texas Chainsaw Massacre pinball machine, and there's a very, very good reason for that. That is because the playfields of both these games are identical. It's more or less the same playfield layout with different themes, meaning it's the same game, or so you'd think. Now, both of these games are available from Pinball Heaven, which is the UK's largest pinball distributor, and all the details of how to get your hands on one of these beauties is in the link in the description below this video. In this one, we're going to deal primarily with Looney Tunes. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre will be in a separate video, but as I'm sure you will imagine, there are certain crossovers. First of all, the game's produced by Spooky Pinball. You may well know them from an absolute classic game, which is Total Nuclear Annihilation. More recently, particularly with this theme, you'd probably look at something like Scooby-Doo with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, probably something more like Halloween. But as they've shown with both Halloween and Ultraman, they have a history of producing the same playfield layout but with different themes, and there's nothing wrong with doing so whatsoever, because both of these games have their individual merits. Packed full of wireforms, 4 ramps, 4 flippers and a ton of mechanisms, this game is about as packed as you're going to get for the price point. It's got this wonderful big LCD screen, and as you would expect with this being the Looney Tunes, then you're having a lot of the classic cartoons which you'll be familiar with. And actually the classic cartoons and those episodes are actually the modes on this game, and they are absolutely brilliant. My particular favourite is when Bugs Bunny is the conductor in an orchestra and he's trying to get the opera singer to sing ever increasingly louder, and your job as you're playing the game is to hit the shots which increase the volume of the opera singer. Very, very good mode, wonderfully executed. Even though it's early days on this game, I would suggest this game has the more polished code of the two, and there's an awful lot of stuff to weave in to the code, into the storyline, into the shots, use of scoops, use of magnets, the 4 flippers, and there are a couple of secret shots in this game as well. I've actually counted 4 or 5 mechanisms thus far. I'm still going, still counting, but as you'll see from this game, it's got a beautiful orange powder coating on the armour, laser cut armour, completely bespoke for this game, laser cut grill inserts, and you'll probably recognise the shape on that. Of course, that's that classic shape of Wile E. Coyote, who's obviously fallen spread eagle onto the floor after, no doubt, Roadrunner has outwitted him in some way. These are the collector's editions. There are 3 different editions on these games. This is the top one. This one comes with a topper, as does Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And the one thing that becomes very, very evident when you look at these games is that no expense has been spared at all. The wireforms are powder coated. The ramps are powder coated, either powder coated or Cerakoted. It's very, very hard to tell. But I've been playing these games now for 2-3 weeks, and the powder coatings held up extremely well. That's for sure. Really good action, mechanisms on the flipper buttons, and I've got to say, actually, when you go into the menu system itself on this game, the menu system's a lot better now, a lot more intuitive. So for instance, if you're a beginner to pinball, these are set as a default standard to 3 ball games, but if you want to increase your chances of working your way through the story mode, then you can set it to 4 ball, 5 ball, 6 ball, and just sort of customize the difficulty levels to make it easier for you to play. And certainly the access to those menus are much improved. They're really, really good. There, of course, is the capacity when you're playing the game to earn extra balls by achieving certain things throughout it, but I've got to say, I've got a 10-year-old daughter. She has thoroughly enjoyed this game, and it hasn't skipped a beat since it got here. It's particularly exciting to lock the ball up at the back on this top upper playfield. Just really a remarkable game, and something I would probably suggest to almost the next generation of pinball machines now, where there's such high levels of competition, so many manufacturers, and the standard of these games is so high that they just seem to be outdoing each other. Competition's a great thing in that aspect, and I've never seen so much packed in to a normal width pinball machine. In terms of wide body, yes, Alien again is a 4-flipper game, but this one with 4 flippers, 4 ramps, 7 ball multi-ball in this game as well as the mechanisms. All the little custom moulds, no flat, well, there are flat plastics here, but only where you need them. There are proper custom moulds like Wile E. Coyote and the TNT crate. Be careful there. I was risking life and limb just touching that TNT crate, wasn't I? There's a rocket ship here, a Tasmanian Devil Taz at the back there. It's an incredible game. And as you probably see from my t-shirt, I'm a big fan of this stuff anyway. And of course, Tweety Pie and Sylvester do feature in here. At least 2 of their classic cartoons are featured within the game modes of this game. And as with any of these pinball machines these days, the code is constantly getting updated. And just even as I record this video, Spooky have just updated their latest newsletter to say that they're actually increasing their capacity. They're opening up yet another factory, and they've made pledges for future updates on the code. And it's a really, really great game. Impressively well built, beautiful looking. It has to say that this is a gorgeous looking game. The translite, the back glass there does look absolutely stunning, as does the cabinet, as does the powder coating and the artwork. The reason I have them in here now and not in the studio is we've actually had people over playing them. And I have to say there are actually 5 other games which you can't see around you now. One of them is John Wick, which you can see over there, Barrio's Barbecue Challenge there. And actually, it was these 2 were the favourite games out of everybody that came over. Right, anyway, without further ado, I think let's take that camera off its perch and let's show you around the playfield and then show you a little bit of gameplay. Let's take a look at Looney Tunes. So first of all, what you'll see is just a gorgeous, gorgeous bit of artwork on the cabinet. What I like about it, they've not tried to go into too smaller depictions of the characters. There's Bugs, there's Daffy, there's Porky Pig. They're big. It's as simple as that. And I really do like that part of it. You get a really good close-up view of this wonderful powder coating now. You'll see things like the start button, Acme, launch button, Looney Tunes. These are quite neat as well because these bits are on it. They're just magnets, which sort of makes a lot more sense than some of these decals that are sort of there permanently. Same on the action button for the lock bar, actually. It's just a magnet. If you wanted to be mischievous, I guess you could swap Texas. You could swap the Texas one with that, but why would you? The apron's metal. I like that. I like just a full apron with no insert cards. There's just no need for cards anymore. They're all printed on there. It's on metal. And as I mentioned earlier, slightly more intuitive rule set on this game. First of all, you'll see a bit of 2 flipper action there. And there's an illumination because there's lights in the apron, which are just, you'll be able to see there on the camera. Which is very, very good, I think, for tracking the ball. They're obviously the same on both games. I don't know why I've got them switched off on Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but they're on this one. I like it. As much illumination as possible in a game for me. First thing you'll see here is the wire form. Wire form is obviously powder coated in orange, as keeping with the theme. When you remember the beautiful wire forms in various different colours on Scooby-Doo, which were gorgeous. So they've carried that on there. Here you have the rocket ship. That has a little spiral in it, so the ball will disappear into there. And if I just show you very quickly next to it, you have the mincer, which is exactly the same mechanism that's on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It sort of works a little bit better as a mincer than a rocket ship, but it's still a good mechanism. It's cool. It's cool. The ball will spiral down there. You've got Wile E. Coyote with his TNT. That moves. That goes up and down. So he actually pushes the TNT down to explode it. That's really cool. And you'll just notice just below Wile E. Coyote, this post, balls get locked there. How you get them in there is by shooting behind this flipper here. Now sometimes the ball does go, when it comes out of there, the post drops, sometimes it goes down the out lane. This one's coded so you get the ball back. Texas Chainsaw Massacre isn't coded that way yet, so it's a little bit frustrating during gameplay. You've got an orbit, a very hittable orbit on the left with a spinner. Then you've got this ramp, first ramp you'll notice, big ramp on the left hand side, goes into the wire form and into the rocket ship, or there's also a diverter in it. It can also drop down into the scoop, which you'll notice just below. There's so much here. I mean, just sort of working your way up, really. Next ramp you'll notice is the one just under Daffy Duck there. That loops round that ramp, and that will go back down to the right flipper. And you'll see that there's another orbit just to the right there. That's where you hit the ball to lock it in to the upper playfield. You'll see just that there's a captive balls just to the left of the Daffy Duck ramp. And that's how you light lock, basically. We've got some stand-up targets, we've got some drop targets. Little drop target there. There's a wonderful loop shot here, which if you hit it off of this flipper, right here, it will loop all the way around and go into there. Particularly good on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You can also, you lift this up here, there's a shot behind there as well, a little secret shot, which hopefully you can see. Really cool. More wire forms then, as you will see at the back. So even behind the Daffy Duck target ramp, two more ramps. Two more ramps. This ramp's really cool here on the left-hand side because it drops it down, drops a shot down onto this flipper here. And the right ramp, right at the back, as you'll see there. Again, that will drop it to the right flipper. Sorry, the Daffy Duck doesn't drop it to the right, to the flipper. There's so many ball paths on here. You'd have to excuse me. I get relatively confused. The Acme crate, which you can see just by Taz, there's a magnet in front of it. That Acme crate, that door moves, and you hit balls into there. Really, really good. And also you'll see just here at the top, that little upper playfield that locks the balls in. How do you get them in there? Well, hopefully I can show you. Might be a bit cack-handed doing this. You hit the right orbit, and this section completely lifts up and allows the ball to go in there, and it goes up, up kicker, up to the top. There's a lot of game going on here. As you'll see, there's a speaker cutouts, Wile E. Coyote. Really good screen. You'll have to excuse the reflection here. Beautiful. Beautiful back glass. Nice topper here on the collector's edition. And then just here you'll see even more fabulous artwork. And hopefully you can just see there the cutouts, which I think are great, the cutouts that Spooky have on these wonderful, wonderful games. No expense spared on these games. I think at the price point, when compared to a lot of others, you've got two really good games here. And just familiarise yourself with that playfield layout. Now we're going to move over to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where you see the layout is completely mirrored, but with some subtle differences. However, you'll have to look at that video to see those in more detail. Let's take a look at some gameplay.
That's all, folks.
Okay, right, having just had a tremendously awful game, I'm going to try and have a better one now.
You missed.
Try and get a couple of modes going for you to demonstrate it. Oh, that jumped. Now, I do actually have the glass off the pinball machine here, just to take the glare off of it so as you can actually see what's going on. Better than you would if it had the glass on it. Oh, that's a shame. Missed that.
Looks like someone needs to work on that game. Lit inlet to activate the shot quiet.
So I'm going to select one of the episodes here. Ain't She Sweet with its Tweety Pie. And I do love a bit of Tweety Pie. So this one is, this mode is actually a roving shot, which is pretty tough. But every time you hit one, you get another shot to hit. So it becomes a little bit easier with every successful shot. Oh, that's a shame. That is a real shame. There was actually a facility, if I'd locked the ball under that right-hand flipper, to actually add a ball, which is quite a nice touch. Okay, so the last ball. It's not the greatest demonstration in the world, but at least you're getting to see some of the shots here.
Very nice shooting.
There's an upper flipper there, if you saw that. Launch that beyond there. There are a lot of shots on this game. Well, on both these games, obviously. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. I mean, it gives you an idea of a few of the shots. Unfortunately, I didn't get to multi-ball on that one, but it is a very, very good game. It's very intuitive. The shots are very forgiving as well, and you can actually have an awful lot of fun on this game. Once again, available from Pinball Heaven, the UK's largest pinball distributor.